The environment, often abbreviated env, is a collection of variables in the form of name-value pairs that contain information about your session to be used by the shell itself or programs launched in your shell in order to affect the way they run. Just as a reminder, a variable is a character string to which we assign a value, which can be a number, a file name, some random text, or any kind of data for that matter. Some of these variables are defined by the system itself and others by the users of the system. They can be local, which means that they will only exist for the current session and will disappear as soon as the shell is closed. They can be user-specific, which means that they're defined for a specific user in the configuration file located in the home directory and are loaded every time this user opens a shell. And finally, they can be system-wide, which means that they're available for every user of the system whenever a new shell is opened, and they're usually located in /etc directory. That being said, you can display all of the values contained in the environment using the env command, and in the case you want to display only one of them, you can use the echo command and the name of your variable preceded by a $ character like so. Now, the first way to declare a local variable is to use the following syntax, which consists in placing your variable before your actual command. This method is usually used to either declare a one-time use variable or to temporarily overwrite an existing variable by giving it a new value just for this one command. We can, for example, change the value of the home variable so that running cd on its own would temporarily move us to the /bin directory instead of the default /user/razvan directory. However, it might happen that in the same session you want to run several commands that need to use the same variable. In order not to have to specify it every single time, we can use the export command that will temporarily create the variable if it doesn't exist, or replace its value for the current session using the following syntax. We can, for example, create a new variable called test that will contain the string hello world using export. We can now replace its value using export once again, and finally we can remove it using this time the unset command followed by its name like so. Now that we know how to manage and use local variables, let's see how we can save user-specific ones so we don't have to create them by hand every time we open a new terminal. For this example, we will customize the command prompt that is stored into a variable called ps1, so it contains our username and our current working directory. So let's start by creating a new file in our home directory called .bashrc that will serve as a configuration file for a shell. But before we do that, let's verify that this file doesn't already exist using the ls and the grep commands. If it does, like in my case, simply save it under another name for now, like bashrc save for example, using the mv command. Let's now open this bashrc file using either nano or vim and use the export command to overwrite the value of ps1. So first we add our username symbolized by /u, then a colon character that will serve as a delimiter, then the working directory symbolized by /w, and finally the prompt character symbolized by $, without forgetting to add a space character before the last quote to have a separation between the prompt and the command. We can now save and quit as we're done here, and the last thing left to do is to tell bash to load and apply our new configuration using the source command like so. You can now navigate to any directory you want, and as you can see, the prompt will automatically change to indicate you the current working directory.